You know, when I come on here and I do my work vlogs, I have a reason for it. And this work vlog is no different. You know, looking at these schedules here, these schedules that I've printed out since almost I began. And I noticed from the beginning of May to Father's Day, for 42 straight work days, with the exception of the days off, for 42 straight days. 42 straight days, 42 days, a month and 12 days, I did carts. And I have nothing against doing carts. I know they gotta get done. But the one thing I have noticed, and I noticed during those 42 work days, the days that I did those carts between those 42 days, is this. When someone like me would close, and it was only just us, it was only just one of us, just one of us, we had help. They would send a cashier or someone from unloading to come out and help us. And I've noticed recently that they would schedule not one but two of us to finish the carts. And why? Because one person, one individual cannot handle all those carts. Now there are some that can, because pretty much they're always out there. They pretty much got the routine down packed. But when you have somebody like someone like me, or someone that does assembly now, or someone that works in the back now, when you have someone like that go out and do carts, sure, they might get the hang of it, but then they start getting into the groove of this new position, or position that they originally brought on for. And then suddenly things change. Now I understand that from what one of my CSMs said last night, from what I understand, we have to adjust. I can understand it, I get that. You know, there's no doubt someone like me can get the job done at night. I have proven it. Time and time again. I prove I can do it. I stay late at night. I stay well beyond my limits. Because I want to get the job done. But even in those limits, sometimes it can't be done depending on the night. There have been weekend nights, Fridays and Saturdays, to where I would close as a cart associate, pushing carts, trying to bring them in. It cannot be done. It cannot be done unless you have help. It cannot be done. And during the summer, like I said, unless somebody is always out there, unless someone is assigned to always be out there, and unless that person who's always out there has the system down, the routine down packed, even during the summer it cannot be done. Because the summer is basically like having every day be a weekend, every day be a Friday, every day be a Saturday. It cannot be done. Oh yeah, you try. I've tried. Last night I tried. I tried picking up the pace. But I can't do it alone. And I know people watching right now, they know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You go to your job, you go to your work, and you're assigned to do one task. And all of a sudden you look at your schedule and you find out you're assigned to do something else, and then you find that that something else might be too much for you, especially on a certain night. And to me, it is too much to handle. But I try. I go to my CSMs, I go to my assistant managers, and I apologize. I tell them straight to the face, I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can. But even the best can't amount to get all those carts in. I know the district rides my store. I know the region rides my store. But you know what? They need to realize our store is not a 24-hour store. We at the most are an 18-hour store. You need to realize that. They need to realize that. And what's most importantly, they need to realize that if they want people like me to get those carts in before we leave, you need to schedule us to 12:30 or 1 o'clock at the latest. And not to 12, because that is ridiculous. 3:30 to 12:30 or 4 to 1 is the best option. And most importantly, you do not take people who know what they're doing in that position and put them someplace else, even though they've earned it. And I respect those that have. But you don't take people that you've hired on and say, you know what, we want you over here instead. You don't do that until you make sure you have the right people, you have the right amount of people ready to take their place. And unless you also want to rotate them, have them adjust, and say, you know what, you're going to be in the back as an ISM or an unloader. But guess what? Some days you'll be out there doing carts again. And that was my dog. I apologize there. Or you're going to be in the meat department, but by the way, sometimes you'll be back outside doing carts. And then where is the fairness? I'm a cashier. I go out there doing carts and I have the cashier badge. What about the other cashiers, who I respect, who I am friends with? Aren't they supposed to also be in that same category? The job group title says cashier. It also says carts on my schedule. Shouldn't they have the same thing? Now the only good news about this is it sounds like it seems like they're bringing someone over from overnights on days to help us with the carts, and I appreciate that, I really do. But what they have to realize, it's going to take more than just adding one more to this group and making it a foursome. You need to add 2 or 3 more. Because the more you add, the better the chances are of getting that lot clean. You know what's funny is, when I do the carts during the day, I really don't have that much of a problem. Because I know I got backup coming. Either in mid-morning, either in late morning, early afternoon, or mid-afternoon. I know I got help coming. Like I know tomorrow I'm going to have help coming at 3 o'clock, if not sooner. You see, this is the thing about my job, and I'm sure anybody watching this can relate. It's whoever okays the scheduling or says, no, you need to adjust the scheduling to be like this. Whoever tells your store's scheduling assistant, manager, or whoever's in charge of your scheduling, that regional or district person has to realize, again, that your store is not the kind of store they think it is. It's different. And when you have a lot of personal issues a lot of personal things on your mind, it doesn't help either. Point is this. Point is this. When it comes to carts, not just my store or my company, but any other retail store out there, any other retailing company needs to know this. If you got carts and you're an 18-hour store, you need to make sure you not have one, not two, but 3 people at the most scheduled for that day. 1 for the day and 2 for closing. And if you go with the 4 route, have 2 in the morning, 2 for closing. That way the job gets done. You can have 1 on one side and 1 on the other side of the store, picking up those carts and bringing them in. Just like with cashiering, everybody complains that we don't have enough cashiers. And you know what? Maybe stores need to really adjust that. They need to figure something out. They need to come up with a compromise. They need to find a way to equal it out, even it out. Even with cashiers and with departments that need people in there. We need to even it out. I'm sick to death of this kind of stuff. I've seen it done at my other stores. I'm sick to death of it. I've seen it done when I was at Burger King. I've had to be called in on my days off and I've gone in. I've seen it done at the other Walmart in Lawrence, Kansas. I've seen it done everywhere at Food for Less. I've seen it done at Hastings. I've seen it done at Home Depot, and it's ridiculous. I'm sick and tired of it, folks. I'm not a quitter. I'm a worker. But even I realize it's time for things to shape up. For things to be done the right way. There's a fellow store in my company's, one of my company's fellow stores in another state that pretty much figured out a way to do it right. Maybe our store needs to start doing that. Maybe your stores, wherever your companies are located, maybe they need to start doing it. Look, this is not my normal work vlog, this is just a work vlog rant. A rant that basically states this. When you say you're a team, and that you help each other, and that that's what your company is about, your store is about, you need to live up to that. You need to live up to that saying. You need to live up to that promise. That you all work as one. That you're one team, one unit, you help each other. That's all I'm going to say, folks. Quite frankly, even though it's my first time back on carts in about a week, I've had it up to here. With this BS. I know my CSMs have had it up to here. I know my fellow associates in and out of this store have had it up to here with this BS of scheduling. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. It needs to stop now.